Good morning. It is morning in America, morning in Los Angeles. I am Casey Phoenix, the host of, I was getting ready to say, my other show. I run two channels. The host of the Purple Elephant Show. I'm doing my morning political thought. This particular one I'm doing because I have heard people on small platforms and large platforms say that Bernie Sanders is the puppeteer, that he has control over Joe Biden's campaign. I will tell you right now, Bernie Sanders is not the puppeteer. He has no influence whatsoever. If he had any influence, Elizabeth Warren would have dropped out during the Democratic primaries. She stayed in, therefore he lost, and Joe Biden won. Bernie Sanders does not have any influence. He is the medium. And I say medium because Joe Biden is pretty much dead. So the puppeteer, whoever it is, and I was thinking about that right before I pressed the record button a few minutes ago. I was thinking about it. I don't think the puppeteer is an individual. And you can call me crazy, conspiracy theorist, or whatever you want to call me. I've been called worse. I believe the puppeteer is a group of a few people. That's what I'm starting to believe. I don't know why. That's what my intuition was telling me a little bit earlier, that the puppeteer isn't a single person. And from a logical standpoint, it would make more sense that it would be a small group of people versus one person. Because I know some people are like George Soros. I don't even see George Soros being part of this. I honestly believe it's a group of different people. Because I'm going to tell you what happened. As I mentioned before, with my episode on Joe Biden picking Kamala Harris, which shows his mind is gone, in that he did not pick her. This is what happened. The puppeteer, whether it is an individual or a group of people, they are a far left individual or group of people. They knew Bernie Sanders could not run for president because everyone knows Bernie Sanders' face. Everyone knows Bernie Sanders is pretty much a socialist. They know Bernie Sanders will lose. They know this. So the puppeteer went to Elizabeth Warren, or sent one of their surrogates to Elizabeth Warren, and said, stay in the race so Bernie Sanders doesn't get the votes. That's why, like I said, Bernie Sanders has no influence here. He has no power here. He is just the medium. That's all he is. He's nothing else. The puppeteer went to Elizabeth Warren, told her, stay in the race. Once Bernie Sanders lost, everyone started to drop out, and then you were left with Joe Biden. The puppeteer then went and found the person who they knew could be manipulated the easiest, as I mentioned before, in Joe Biden's pick, Kamala Harris, because she doesn't know who she is and she doesn't believe in anything. And she is an opportunist. She only says what she believes people want to hear. She never says what she believes. And with her being an opportunist and so eager to climb up the political ladder and so open to corruption, that is why the puppeteer picked her to be Joe Biden's running mate. Now that she is Joe Biden's running mate, The puppeteer is using Bernie Sanders to communicate with Joe Biden what the agenda is, which that agenda has been laid out a little bit. Mark Levin read over it, which there's elements of the Green Deal, but as some people have said before, this agenda that Joe Biden supposedly wants to implement is a little bit left to Bernie Sanders. That's why I said Bernie Sanders has no power here. The puppeteer is a single individual or a group of people. I believe it's a group of people, of just a few people, maybe 3 or 4, with a lot of power that want to do a radical push. And Bernie Sanders is just, like I said, the medium. He doesn't have any power. And they are using Joe Biden as the host to get that done. Because if Joe Biden wins the election, I don't even give him 6 months. I don't give him 6 months. I feel 6 months in, they might say, oh, well, Joe's having medical issues and this and that. We have to invoke the 25th Amendment, yada, yada, yada. So Kamala Harris, you're now president. And then Kamala Harris will not be president. She will report to the puppeteer, which is the group of people. And that is the other thing. The other reason I believe it's a group of people, because all of the people involved, because like I said before, Elizabeth Warren was told to stay in the race. I know this. I don't care what anybody says. There is nothing anyone can tell me. Nothing at all. Elizabeth Warren was told by the puppeteer to stay in the race. I know it. And for someone to have that much influence on that many people, where they touch Elizabeth Warren, they touch Bernie Sanders, they touch Kamala Harris, they touch Joe Biden, I don't believe it's just a single person. And the puppeteer is not former President Obama. He doesn't have that type of power. He's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You know how when you were in high school and you were like the star quarterback and you won the championship and 15 or 20 years has passed? And when you go visit the high school and go to the game or whatever, people are like, oh yeah, that's such and such. I feel like former President Obama is in that position now, where it's like, oh, he was great during his time, but his time is past. That's what I feel like. I feel President Obama has very little input when it comes to the agenda of Joe Biden. And whatever the puppeteer is looking to push, Joe Biden is the host. Kamala Harris is the one who will push the agenda. Bernie Sanders is the medium. Because the puppeteer, even though the puppeteer is left to Bernie Sanders is still left-leaning to Joe Biden. So they have something in common. And also the puppeteer maybe wants to make Bernie Sanders feel like he's included in something, since the puppeteer told Elizabeth Warren to stay in the race. But once it's all said and done, Bernie Sanders doesn't have any power whatsoever. If he had power, he would have been on the ticket. But the puppeteer knew Bernie Sanders couldn't be on the ticket because he would have lost against President Trump, because obviously Americans are not voting for a socialist. But Americans would consider voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who are controlled by a far left, pretty much socialist, which is the puppeteer. And I know this sounds like something out of a Hollywood movie, or it sounds like something from The Blacklist, which is a great show, by the way. It's really good. I know it sounds like The Cabal, and it sadly, what's that saying? Truth is closer to fiction than you think. Fact is closer to fiction than you think, or fiction is closer to fact than you think, or something like that. The line is, there's a thin line sometimes. And I really believe that the puppeteer is more than likely a group of people. But I just want to make this clear, because everyone's saying Bernie Sanders has all this influence and he's telling Joe Biden to do this and he's telling Joe Biden to do that. That's not influence. Bernie Sanders is the medium for the puppeteer. He is the medium. Bernie Sanders does not have any influence. Bernie Sanders is not the puppeteer. Bernie Sanders is taking orders, is what he's doing. When him and AOC and other people they're taking orders from someone. And it's someone who has a lot of money, has a good infrastructure in place that they can reach a lot of people. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a group that one of the groups was a tech company, that one of the people in the group is affiliated with a major tech company. It wouldn't surprise me, because to have that much influence on people where you can tell Elizabeth Warren to stay in the race just to keep Bernie Sanders from winning. And then once the dust settles, Joe Biden gets the nomination, and then have Bernie Sanders as the medium and have this agenda that is being pushed, and then have Kamala Harris picked as the running mate when there were clearly better choices. And whether they were people of color or not, I don't care about that. There were clearly better choices for a VP than Kamala Harris. There were clearly better choices. But the puppeteer said, no, pick her. She's the most malleable. She's the one that can be used to push the agenda that the puppeteer wants. She was picked for a reason, even though there were better choices for VP. So, and Bernie Sanders did not have any say in the pick of Kamala Harris. He didn't. Bernie Sanders is just the medium. He's handling the communication with the dead right now, which is Joe Biden. That's all he's doing. I don't know who the puppeteer is. I believe one of them, like I said, is more than likely affiliated with a large tech company, because tech companies have a ton of information. They have everything. We tell tech companies everything. So it wouldn't shock me if a tech company has a lot of information on all of these candidates, to touch them, to say, hey, this is what I need you to do. This is the agenda I need for you to put in place. To tell former President Obama, stand down. You've had your time. Don't get too involved. Yeah, we're going to bring you out like that quarterback that won the championship 15 years ago. But this agenda, you don't have anything to do with this. But this morning political thought is to make it clear. Bernie Sanders is not the puppeteer. And that's my morning political thought. ThePurpleElephantShow.com. Today's Friday, so obviously I'll be doing some episodes for The Purple Elephant Show this weekend, because The Purple Elephant Show is a weekend show. I'll do 2 regular episodes this weekend and 1 podcast-only episode. ThePurpleElephantShow.com is the main podcasting platform. Thank you to those who have been watching on YouTube and listening to the podcast. I see you with the analytics in Guatemala, in Germany, England, Australia, Ireland. I feel like I'm missing a country. Canada. I believe I have seen Canada on there. There's Israel, of course. Shout out to Israel and all the other countries that people have been listening. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Be blessed.